Ivo Dawnay from the National Trust. We're also joined tonight by Maxwell Hutchinson, who's an architect, and not too happy with this news. Why not, Maxwell?
When I heard the news, I was made sure that it was indeed September and not April, because it sounded like a joke. I mean, it's quite a ludicrous proposition. I've once been on Big Brother's Little Brother, so I've seen this thing. It's not a house. It's a studio, it's a television studio, and it's moved around a lot. It was on 3 Miles Island in South London when I went there for the first time. It's just a complete fabrication. Not worthy of the National Trust, sir. What are you doing with the trust in which members put in?
What are you doing?
It's absolutely ludicrous proposition.
Well, we're thrilled to have an architect
you look trustworthy.
Because it's nothing to do with architecture at all. It's to do with the importance, the historical importance of a place which actually was, in effect, the birthplace.
It's not a place. It's
the
been all over the
birthplace of
place.
reality television in Britain, which has given us possibly more insight into ourselves as a nation than most things have over the last 15 years, and also has actually been a real force for decision-making by the public when they come to deciding what furniture they're going to have in their houses, what decoration and things of this kind. It's been a market leader for all those things.
So you're a devotee. Do you watch it a lot?
I really enjoyed it this summer.
Who was thrown out last in the last edition?
Oh, that's a bit
I know that Sam won and Dexter came second.
Well,
Did you know that?
I got no idea what you're
well,
talking
there you
about.
are, you see, so you're not on top of this.
And also, you're going to get a lot of a younger audience, a younger crowd coming through the National Trust to visit, if not the Big Brother house, and maybe another stately home whilst they're a member. That's a good
Well,
thing,
Maxwell's
isn't it,
one of these
Maxwell?
sort of people who thinks that basically architecture ended in about sort of 1850. And actually, what we're trying to do is get in touch with the real world in which we all actually live. Now, there may be hundreds of thousands of people who love Palladian architecture, but there are millions who love Big Brother. So it seems to me that we actually ought to be inclusive and allow those millions their little say about what heritage is. Look at Danny Boyle.
Okay, let
Look what he did.
Maxwell answer. What do you think?
Well, I've just come back from my studio to come here when I've been designing primary schools to deal with the great shortage of classrooms in primary schools, and they're very modern buildings and they cater for a very modern child in a very modern savvy media world. But I don't think they're going to look at the hideous interiors of the Big Brother house. How do I know they're hideous? Because you showed me the pictures. I almost decided not to come and talk about it because you are a very cultured and civilised man, and I don't know why you're doing it.
Are you not at risk of irritating some of your other members who might not appreciate this, and also think that there are plenty of other modern buildings you could include?
Would you really want us to simply do things which will cause no fuss at all? We've got to get a debate going about what heritage really is. And Danny Boyle started this debate very effectively last year at the Olympic ceremony, and she talked about things like the National Health Service and about suburban housing and about the World Wide Web. Heritage didn't end a couple of hundred years ago. Heritage is what's happening now.
Will you go and visit Maxwell? Will you be one of those?
I've been invited to go.
Are you going to go?
You've invited me, haven't you?
We've had so much difficulty finding people to oppose this move that he and Anne Widdecombe will be invited as special guests.
Will you go, Maxwell?
If I'm invited, of course I'll go.
Okay,
which means that I'll be even more equipped to say what a rubbish and silly idea it is.
Okay, what about this?
We'd be delighted to have you.
I tell you what. Respond to this tweet from Mark Woods, as one of our viewers, who says, only small-minded people would want to view it. It's not exactly national heritage. What would you say to Mark Woods?
I'd say he's completely and utterly wrong. Heritage is about what's happening now as well as what happened 200 years ago. And we have learnt more about our nation possibly through Big Brother and through an awful lot of novels and an awful lot of drama.
And the danger of being a bit snobbish about this as well, Maxwell.
I'm not being snobbish about it. I just think it's a very silly idea, but it's fun. I'll say it's fun. It's silly. Would you go on if they asked you?
On Big Brother?
Yeah.
Couldn't dream of doing
I tell you what, though, Ivor, how would you sell it? So Maxwell's one of your guests. Are you going to say, this is where, so-and-so had so-and-so, this is where George Galloway impersonated a cat? What
exactly, we'll do
moments?
all of that sort of thing. But I think Maxwell is basically auditioning right now for a role in Celebrity Big Brother next year.
I would loathe it. I'd absolutely loathe it. But if you invite me to come and have a look at it, I will. I will reinforce my views that it's silly.
And then will you
but
come
fun.
back on the programme and let me know what you think?
We will look forward to it.
Okay, I look forward to having you both back on the show. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me tonight.